What's happening?
Oh, we're ready.
Oh. Moon, don't come up tonight. He's not here to share your lovely sight. My man has gone away and left me with a broken heart. Moon, don't come up tonight. His arms aren't near to hold me tight. Don't light forsaken dreams to haunt me now that we're apart. Your warm glow at evening set our hearts on fire. But when you turned cold ice by midnight, you chilled my man's desire. Moon, don't come up tonight. He's not here to share your lovely sight. My man has gone away and left me with a broken heart, and left me with a broken
How did you feel? How did you feel about Andy before he was born? Were you really into being a mother?
Yeah.
Yeah?
As soon as it happened, I was really happy. I thought I was sterile. Some doctor told me that, so I believed it. And when I got pregnant, I was thrilled. Oh, wow.
What about Cliff?
Hero worship on my part, I guess. I really loved him, that kind of love, like infatuation and stuff. And feeling that I wasn't up to him, But then, like I told you, after Andy was born, I really felt like there were some ideas that I had and beliefs that I was stronger than I thought I was, and had more definite opinions than I thought. It was not quite as weak as I thought it was.
You mean about?
Just everything, you know. I had some opinions that I really knew that I wanted to practice. I discovered myself. You know.
Andy, did you ever make connections with those people with the daycare center and the school or anything?
Here, yeah, but I don't like the city for any of that. Can't wait to go to the country and do that.
So Andy's around the house mostly?
Mm-hmm.
Around Hay Street?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, but I've always managed with this house, because the rent's so cheap, to go to the country a lot. And we don't spend much time in the city. I've been doing a lot of things since I've been living there. I've done a lot of traveling.
Yeah.
I love you, honey. I won't ever lie to you. I believe in you. I know the love we share is true. And my love for you will last. In spite of all the lonely days and nights without you, without you, without you. Ooh, you're all I'd ever need. I love you so. You're my life, you know. You know.
Is it like you don't feel the need anymore to do something like black as the color?
Definitely not. But I might do something like it, only about another subject. You know. Sure, there's something there. There's something in me that feels that kind of. I haven't changed that much. That's true. It's a personal expression. I frightened myself though when I did that.
What was the inspiration for it, besides more musical, you know, or content too?
Loving Clifford, I suppose. I think we said that the other night too.
Yeah. Well, I just mean, like, to me a lot, you know, it fits with, partly it just fits with the instrumental music, but it fits with the instrumental music of the time and of the scene you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like where I lived, I became a part of what that music was. You know, as I was active in LA, I was the kind of jazz singer that LA produced. you know, although it wasn't really, I mean, I didn't come to my, fore, or whatever the word is, you know, I didn't really have it together and feel as good about myself and my singing as I did in New York. But I know when I lived in Portland, Oregon, I was singing what jazz musicians there thought was decent, you know, sort of half decent jazz, nightclub stuff. And LA too. But it wasn't very real. You know, I could feel the difference as soon as I discovered what it was really like. You know, what it felt really good doing something more real. And that was in New York. I mean, what I thought was real for me. And more meaningful. I don't like that phrase too much.
When me and Digger, after we talked to you once about, I think it was after you lent us the records, you know, and Digger asked you something about them, I don't remember, but you said you felt all embarrassed about them.
Yeah, I don't like them. I mean, personally, they aren't pretty enough for me to enjoy. They made a statement, and I really had to do it. You know, I had to sing. Like, I had a need to do that. But I don't know. It's almost easier for me to deal with now than it was. You know, it's getting a little easier all the time.
With the material?
Very harsh. You know, it's very like I said the other night, breaking a lot of rules, and I like traditional music too. You know, I mean, that's really what I love. But you wouldn't know it to hear the music that's on those albums.
Well, you would. Maybe the first side of the first one.
Yeah. I'm kind of sad about my career. You know, I wish that I had. I felt ready to do so many things, and opportunities didn't come. And I remember trying very hard. And maybe because I'm Pisces, I get shot down really quickly, and I get disappointed too easily. And so I don't consistently, push for something to sing. I don't know what'll happen now. Like, I would like to record again. I'd like to do the concerts, and I'd like to go to Europe. I hope this happens. And Andy's growing older, and he'll be more independent soon. And I could always have a career if I want to go back into chanteuse nightclub, but I doubt if I'll ever do that. But I do think, like, when he's 10 years old, I can do a full-time career again. So that's 5 more years. But then I could do it, I think.
How do you feel about
Maybe I'll be able to do a full-time career before that, too. How do I feel?
How does Andy feel about you singing?
Oh, he likes it. Yeah, he encourages me. He likes it. He says, "Yeah, you're a good singer, Mommy. You're a good singer." And I'll say, "Oh, that didn't sound good." He goes, "That was okay. I like that."
Yeah, that's good, because sometimes kids get real jealous, you know, if their moms.
He's proud of me, I think. Yeah, he likes that. Your love has never been for me. I'm certain of it now, but there is so much of my heart lost to you somehow. I lived each day with you in mind, and though you didn't know, you loved me. I wonder, could you ever love? You may not spare the time, but you're the one who told me about how patience is no crime. I didn't need to be near you to feel your strength, dear sir. I changed my mind too late, that's all. You're still the man you were. You never know how much you gave, what it meant to me. You loved me. That's all. That's all.
Yeah, you did sharp because black and white, huh?
Well, it's video.
Yeah.
So you're there now, but you're not.
I'm not clear, huh?
Right.
I should have thought that would have been plenty of light. It needs a really harsh contrast to pick up.
Where's the mic, Dennis? It's right here.
I don't have one.
They don't have a
No,
spot.
it's too bad.
Oh well, you have to do the best you can.
I could put another light bulb in this.
That mic.
Okay.
I want to still be on now.
Yeah.
Why doesn't it be open?
Yeah, and you turn around and talk.
Hi.
Don't
You can
say
say
it.
more. You're on camera now. You're on too, Doc.
I'm going to.
Is this turned on?
Mic? Yeah.
It's too blurry.
My feet
Let's see
is
if
up.
it's working on
Big
it.
noise.
Oh, highlight.
Always walk forward. He
Can't tone
does.
it up anymore.
He always walks.
What does monitoring mean?
He always
Well,
that you take the signal out of the camera and the deck and just go right here and it'd be live right now. Whatever he's shooting, you'd be seeing it right here.
You could do that. Wanna try it?
We'll see in a minute.
Check it out.
Andy's hamming. He's a good ham.
A ham actor, huh?
Yeah, he'll be on.
Give him a prop and he's away.
You could do a kung fu move or a dance or a little. Stay right in that area, maybe.
I could do a kung fu.
Is the light better in any
You could
particular
sing a
place?
song.
Like over near the sofa?
I don't think he lost his balance. Cook. Jaluba.
Okay, folks.
Oh, you shouldn't have said
Are you
that.
too far away?
Yeah, you are kind of far.
Come on over here.
Over here? Okay.
Listen.
Oh, the mic, yeah. It's just so funny though, us sitting, I mean, because if we were talking, we'd probably be sitting over at the table and
You want to
like
sit
it's
at the
real.
table?
No, it's still good.
Sit here.
We just have to get used to kind of sitting on the couch next to each other, and talking across this way.
Okay. Now what?
Now what do we do?
Are you going to interview? Are you going to ask questions?
Well, I don't want to ask questions, but if you want to talk, do you remember
The
anything?
worst thing that's happening in my head now is that music outside. It's hard to think that I would just sing against that.
Yeah. How does it sound
So
to
I
you?
think we should talk now.
How does it sound to you?
How does what? My voice?
No,
Oh,
the music, yeah.
The music sounds like they're enjoying themselves, and I like it. It's very light, light jazz,
Light jazz, yeah.
light classical. Go ahead, ask me some more questions.
Okay. Do you really?
I'm waiting for you to ask me questions.
Okay. You're not going away with that?
No. Al came today and said that he felt he wanted to stay here and start a business and that he'd be running away if he went away. And I told him that the only thing that hurts me is that he doesn't want me. He doesn't want a relationship with us. And of course in December, I decided that I thought I didn't want a relationship with him anymore. It's something to be really close to someone and feel like you'd rather talk to them about how you feel than anybody else in the world. And he's that person to me, besides the other thing, preferring to be with him, to live with him, but finding a replacement for both of us. I've been hearing all kinds of good things now. Pisces are supposed to have a good year. And there's someone who's sort of a spiritual advisor to me now too.
Who's
like,
that?
just a woman that has so many things to say. And I catch some, and maybe months later I'll catch on to what she meant about something else.
Is it just somebody you met in
Yeah,
the Blue U or something?
No. I shouldn't put the place down. I don't frequent the Blue U.
If you don't, you live.
I like hearing it just from underneath the door.
Ambience.
Yeah.
What kind of business is he gonna do?
I think he's selling. And of course I'm subletting him probably for 5 months. So by then, I hope, won't want to live here again anyway. Because this is here, like, as my security. If I can't do something somewhere else.
What's that?
But if he leaves, I may have to leave. If he sells.
If he sells?
Mm-hmm.
Who?
The owner of the brewery.
Oh, the owner. I'm talking about Alan. You're telling me about the owner.
Oh, what did you say?
What kind of business is he starting?
Oh, he wants to start his own car mechanics thing like he has.
Except like in a real shop or
I
something?
guess so. Mm-hmm.
It must be, I don't know. It's strange. It's funny because it's strange for me because I live 2 doors away from him, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I go by there all the time, you know? And it's like your whole relationship with him is always in my mind whenever I walk by there, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, he can be in there working on Volkswagens or talking to somebody or something, but that's always what I think of. It must be real strange for you to have him living that close.
Mm-hmm.
And say, hey, man.
Yeah. The one of the things too that I wanted to say on tape because it makes me feel so good is that what I told you earlier about someone saying that they thought I was the greatest singer of the decade.
Yeah.
Just about half an hour before you arrived. And I'm really a has-been, I'm afraid. But I'm going to go to LA. I have some names of people in LA. And we'll see what happens there. And then Bernard sent me a duplicate letter.
Bernard?
Bernard Stollman.
The guy from ESP?
Yeah, he flew me to Montreal to try to get something together up there with some musician friends. And that fell through because they wanted more than he wanted to pay, you know? It wasn't that much. Yeah, I came back here and the city didn't look good to me.
Did it first?
No.
No?
My first impression of San Francisco was that it looked even worse to me than New York.
Oh.
But I flew in and the garbage strike and the minibus strike and everybody was down and complaining and very nasty. And I'd just been in Canada. In Canada, everyone was so pleasant and goodwill, you know, full of good cheer and pleased with their country and how they love it up there, you know? And then coming here and isn't true. And then now I come back here and I feel like, where do I want to go? You know, I could go anywhere. But I don't know if I could live in Canada.
But LA?
Oh, well, I'm going down to peek at it. I just want to see what it looks like.
You've never been there?
Sure, 10 years ago. So I want to see what it's like, what it feels like. Because there is some music industry there.
Oh, there sure is.
Yeah.
God, I don't know how they relate to you in LA.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something I discovered too on my trip, was that back east is more receptive, I think, to me or my spirit, you know. I think I am received there and probably would be in Europe. And I don't know that I would be received here that much. You know.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. Well, I haven't found people I thought I'd work with a lot here either. You know. But I did back east. You know, it was such a high back then. So I may go back. It takes nerve though, you know,
to go back?
with a 5-year-old to
Yeah.
take chances. It costs money and it's a gamble.
Have you looked around for people to play with here?
Yeah, slightly. There isn't that much happening.
How do you go around looking?
Oh, then if I explain that, it'll sound as if I don't look.
Well, how?
Well, I receive phone calls from people and they'll ask me to come rehearse. Come to listen to them rehearse. And they'll ask me if I'd like to sing with their groups. And I'll usually say no because I feel like I like their group and I don't want to be part of it. Or that I like to feel like I can really offer something to a group, a certain type of thing. That isn't very clear, really. It's hard to explain.
Yeah, but I think I see what you mean. It's like they have to be in a place where you can offer, where you can fit in with that.
Yeah, and I want to learn too. I want to be with people better than myself. You know? I've been chanting lately too, and then I just called a girlfriend, and I threw the I Ching for her on the phone, and she told me what it meant. I'm just but everything's okay. Yeah, the saddest part of today is that Al turned around, you know, changed his mind again. He's done that so much. And then at dinner, Chris was here for dinner, Andy was saying what he'd like to be. Chris was saying what he'd like to be when he grows up. And Andy had this long list of things: fireman, astronaut, police, and everything. He said torture. We went through this definition of what a torture was. And he decided he didn't want to be a torturer, but he wanted to carry torches. And Chris explained to him that a torturer hurts people and doesn't feel that much, you know, assuming doesn't feel that much. Is that enough interview?
I don't know. What do you think? I have a lot of, you know. So
someone interviewed me in New York. It was really fun.
Yeah.
It was exciting because things were like, she would say, the one question that was really outrageous, and she was supposed to send me letters, proof sheets, and I would say, sure, you know. Haven't heard from 2 photographers and her, and they were the ones I'm dying every day just to hear from them, you know.
Was this
so I wrote to them.
When you were just in New York?
Yeah. Yeah, he hired her to interview me, and she was saying things.
The photographer?
No, he paid the photographers to take my picture, and then she was supposed to do biographical notes. And then, since then, the only person I've heard from is the record company guy. Haven't heard from anyone else. But she'd say things like, she thought that, and she hadn't heard my singing before, but she heard her favorite singer was Billie Holiday, and I told her Billie Holiday's my favorite singer too. And then she said, well, when I'm listening to Billie Holiday and then I put your album on, like the one side of the first album, where I play and sing,
right.
Then she said, you know, I want to give you a compliment that as much as I like Billie Holiday, the mood and the feeling that Billie Holiday gives me, you retain that. That was really nice. It made me feel good. And then she said something like, what would I do? Would I expect to be famous, or what would I do if I became famous? You know? And those kind of questions, and it was really fun. I was sitting there saying, yeah, no, maybe I would sing on an Upper East Side club, you know. I'd stay a little longer in New York, have a debut, and opening and all this stuff, you know. And it didn't happen, but the interview made me feel like it was happening. Then I left, and the next day was just back to normal again. I don't know what she got out of my interview. She was asking me how I felt when I made the albums too. And I told her that I was really in love with my son's father. And I think that was the reason I sang that album. And then most of the love songs were hit to him too. And
The first one, you mean?
Yeah, the first album.
Yeah.
He was on that tour of the second album also. He was playing in another band. Sun Ra's been in South America, I think. But he isn't with him now.
What's his name?
Clifford Jarvis. He was my first love, my crush. I loved. He played beautiful music. He was a drummer. I mean, I had crushes in high school too. But you can have crushes on people and then they respond to you, and wow, it's really fun. It doesn't happen that much. But not being able to live together and raise a child, it couldn't happen.
Couldn't happen?
No. I was playing a role, or I was into a role where I couldn't speak up for myself or my opinions, and I didn't know what my opinions really were. But I found that after I had my son, I had some strong opinions about things that were in conflict with his, and I wanted my way, and I wouldn't have been able to have my way, I thought, if we were together.
Was it about raising Andy, or was it?
It was just, I think it was my head and cultural differences that we felt. I think I would have played a more submissive role, believing that he should be, the dominant person in the family. And I didn't agree with so many things he had. I mean, the thrill of our relationship before I had Andy was that we didn't think alike, and that we had so many differences. And it was like I learned about him, and we weren't anything alike, And it was fun. I liked that. It was interesting. But then you can't melt that and put that into. It was impossible. You have two completely different philosophies and attitudes toward everything.
Towards everything?
I think so. Maybe. I don't know.
About music?
No, I don't know. Maybe not. And then I started reading horoscope magazines because of him. Because I thought, how could we have such different opinions? How could we look at things so differently? And then I started reading, like, astrology says, like, Virgo is opposite Pisces, the sign is opposite. And we had opposite sun, opposite moon. And I read about it. And I see that he's like a Virgo, and I'm like a Pisces, and that was fun. And then I started reading about other signs.
How long were you in New York before?
I was there 5 years.
5 years. Where did you grow up?
Iowa.
Iowa?
A dairy farm in Iowa.
Wow.
I had one younger sister. Went to country school. There were 14 kids. And you know how Iowa has all these weather trips. Like one day it's a blizzard, and a month later it's flood. A month later it's a hurricane. A month later it's a tornado. And the summer is too hot, and winter's too cold. And I had a horse. And we'd treat any kids that would come to our farm a walk up the creek. We'd take them on this long walk up the creek. And that was our life. You know, all the kids.
Did you sing?
Yeah, my mother was like a stage mother. Yeah, Chris was telling me tonight that if I remain frustrated about my singing, that Andy will feel that to a certain extent. If I don't go ahead and fulfill my desires, you know, there's a possibility it will rub off on Andy. And he'll have a hard time fulfilling his desires. He'll feel frustrated too. And it may not be true. I think back that my mother was very frustrated, that she wanted more from her life, you know. But she had me performing. And then again, that generation felt any child should have these entertaining talents to entertain relatives, you know, and perform whatever they could. And when I visited my father and his third wife in D.C. last month, they're still doing that. They still want me to entertain them, and they want anyone who comes to visit them to entertain them, you know, tell them stories, and then they want to brag about them to other people, you know. If they, it's weird.
What kind of things did you sing?
Where?
In Iowa.
I didn't know the gun was loaded, and Rock Island Line and Wheel of Fortune. And in high school I got into Come Rain or Come Shine and Blues in the Night and After the Lights Go Down Low. Sweet Little Jesus Boy. He's got the whole world in his hands.
Ooh. What would you perform for people? Would you like play the piano and sing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I played Come Rain or Come Shine and accompaniment and sang. I won a lot of awards. Oh, I played in the church choir. I was the church organist. Because they didn't have anybody better. Then Alice left home when I was 18. I lived with my aunt and uncle in Portland, Oregon for a year. And I tried to sing there, and I did a little singing. There aren't that many clubs there. But I did some singing in Oregon and Washington. Then I went to LA. And I sang like Apple Valley Inn and Bear Mountain and resorts, and traveled with groups like to Rapid City, South Dakota, and back down to LA. Then went to Denver and did the same thing, only I started being a cocktail waitress too, in addition to singing.
What kind of stuff you were
Okay, by then, Denver, I started listening to Billie Holiday, and I started, you know, the whole world of jazz opened up, Chet Baker, Dizzy Gillespie, and Miles, and everything. So my style changed then, you know. And I started woodshedding with jazz musicians. Well, actually I did that in Oregon too. I guess all the time I was around jazz. But I really got into Billie Holiday after Denver. Then I moved to San Francisco. And then I was at like after hours clubs, like Rock City every night and stuff. And sitting in and singing, and then in the daytime, all the musicians that played after hours would be at somebody's house in the daytime. There were a group of musicians that lived all together. And then in '64, about 10 people and myself, the winter of '64, that were all these jazz hopefuls, went to New York. And some of those people were like Pharoah Sanders and Dewey Redman, who plays with the Lynette. Jolie Wilson, a singer, Art Lewis, a drummer, Jimmy Lovelace, a drummer, and Janie Getz, a piano player, and more, a lot more, you know, but an easy 10. Monty Waters, who Who's he with now? I can't remember. But there were a bunch of us, you know, and we were all friends out here, and then we all lived in New York, and we all tried to do things, you know. And that's another place you can go out every night. Even now, going into New York, there is such a life there. Like, they have benefits for a musician who's ill in the hospital, and all these people are playing for that one person. Like, they don't have that much out here, but it's beautiful there, you know. Like, there'll be 10 really fine groups at a benefit that are all like, you know, like, it's really like a family. And I had a prejudice too when I came out here from New York, and Andy was just a baby, you know. But I thought, I'm going to just drop out because it won't be as good here musically. You know, I felt that so strongly. And then I remember going to one night at Keystone Corner, and Roland Kirk was there, and it had me in tears, you know. I said, I want to go back to New York and hear all of it. I don't want just this little bit. You know, and he asked me to sing, and I didn't want to. I was afraid to. And then,
Why were you afraid to?
Well, and same with Bobby Hutcherson too. I just felt like I hadn't been doing it, and that I wanted to do more like studio work and more, like, I'd like to record more and get some material together and then perform. I want to record though. I'd like to rehearse it, work with arrangers or rehearse with groups. But I love rehearsing with groups, actually. Not wasting a lot of time doing it, but preparing for a performance or preparing for an album. And it's a learning experience, you know, to rehearse. I like to go through all the changes myself. Like, I can't imagine being a kind of a singer who's going to repeat a song over and over because someone... Oh, that's something Bacha asked me in New York, the woman who interviewed me. She said, would you sing Black for an audience if you knew that they really wanted that one, if they were there at that concert to hear that one? And I thought about it, and I said no first. And then we went back to the question again, you know, because I told her, well, maybe I would, you know, but that it's against, sort of against the grain to feel that you have to do something like that.
Could that?
Oh, I was afraid of that album, the reception of that album. Yeah. I was really afraid people would string me up or something.
Why?
I just thought it would make people angry. Well, I'm sure it does make a few, you know. But it was amazing to me that a few people appreciated it and felt no hostility exactly, you know, of, you know, what's she doing? It's breaking so many rules. You know. And I respect tradition. So I was sort of wondering if I was doing something valid, you know.